Scott, you see an old man sitting under a tree. He's fishing. Are they biting? They are, catching plenty of the pale, slimy little monsters. What do you do when you aren't fishing? Well, not much. I used to be a farmer. Now I just do odd jobs and fish. What sort of odd jobs? Foraging, cutting down the cave wood and shaping it into boards. Burning trash and waste. Same amount of work to get done down here as up on the surface. Why did you stop farming? He speaks loudly for the first time, in anger. Those cat bastards! They burned my farm! They wanted the land, so they took it. Johnson sent out a group to attack their new fort, but they were never heard from, so I'm stuck here. He calms down and goes back to fishing. Jason, a tall, peculiar-looking man dressed in leather, sits by the counter. He has long hair and a broad smile, and cold, calculating eyes. "Hello," he says in a soft voice. "I am Jason. I sell supplies." "You sell supplies? Isn't that a bit vague?" "Well, I used to sell farming supplies when there were farms. Then I diversified." "When there were farms? What do you mean by that?" "There are a lot of brigands in these parts. Not good, respectable thieves, savages. They've been attacking the farms. There's one band of them in particular that I like to see dealt with." "Perhaps I could help you deal with them." "Perhaps you could. At that, go straight north towards Formello, and you may meet a group of bandits which has been extorting money from merchants passing by. Deal with them, and I will pay you handsomely." "I have another question." Jason steeples his finger in front of his face and leans back in his crude stone chair. "So, supplies, do you need them?" "Can you be more specific about your trade?" "No," he thinks. "I only sell supplies for farming." He makes little air quotes with his fingers when he says the word. "If you want to do some trading, I can show you what I have. Otherwise, please leave." "All right, I'd like to buy some farming supplies." Jason's equipment seems to be more suited for a brigand or adventurer than a farmer. Some of his supplies seem quite useful. The prices are slightly expensive. A small, slender woman sits behind the counter, working on fletching an arrow. Years in the underworld have made her skin white to the point of translucence. She holds up the arrow, inspects it, nods approval, and sets it aside. Then she looks up at you. "Welcome to my workshop. You can call me JR. I offer fine tools for puncturing one's foes from a safe distance." "What kind of missiles do you make here?" "I make and sell archery supplies and javelins. Let me know if you want to purchase something. My stock is kind of low. Most everything I make has been going to the soldiers." This seems like a very violent area. "It is. Sometimes I wish that my business was not so healthy." "Who have the soldiers been fighting?" "To the north, goblins and Nephilim. To the west, brigands and the rare Slizarakai raiding party. The Empire has sent us all to a violent and dangerous land." I have another question. Do you know where one might learn about archery? I have been known to share my secrets, but only to ones of adequate prestige to be worthy of my time. I want to buy some missiles. GR carefully handcrafts bows and javelins from cave wood and sharpened stone. On the surface, her weapons would be discarded as garbage. Here, they might save your life. Wolner. The man behind the counter is short and heavy-set. He wears mage's robes, not crisp and clean, but ratty, as if he'd been travelling recently. The air in here has a thick, medicinal scent. There's some alchemical equipment sitting on the counter. The man sees that you notice it. Difficult to find supplies down here, but I manage. I am Wolner the Sage. Welcome to my shop. You look like you do a lot of traveling. He nods. I try to be a sage, but I've been seeing a lot of action lately. He looks down at his robes apologetically. I also need to find my own supplies. Sounds exciting. What sort of action were you in? Captain Johnson enlisted me to help out against the foe. I was on a raid against a bandit fought up the hill to the west. It was a mess, but we fared much better than the group that attacked the Nephilim to the north. None of them returned. He looks at you hopefully. You know, if you want to help, you can speak with the captain. What sort of supplies? Mold and fungi. I use them to make my potions. Any of the sort you find, you can bring to me. I have been trying to find source of mandrake and grey mold, but I have had no luck. They're terribly rare. What can a sage do? Well, my specialty is alchemy. If you have foraged any lichen or moss or fungi with the proper properties, you can show them to me. If they are fresh enough, I can make something for you. For example, if you brought me healing herbs in adequate quantities, I could make you healing or curing potions. Even better, with the right mix of herbs, I could make a brew to speed you up in combat and restore your magical energy. Very useful, much in demand. I would like a curing potion. You give him the herbs and he sets to work. Soon, Wolner hands you a clay jug filled with a bitter, medicinal brew. Alright, safe travels to you. Grimmets smithing. The man in front of you is huge, leather-clad, and grimy. He holds a very large hammer. The heat from his forge leaves his face flushed, and the red stands out dramatically against his pale skin. He looks over your weaponry.
A warrior, I see. I'm Grimmet. I sell blades. Best you can find in the Eastern Gallery.
Nice shop, you're the fortsmith.
Hey, I'm the blacksmith around here. I repair weapons and the like. You can buy some here and sell your spares as well.
Can't repair anything.
Actually, I just do small repairs. Now, Bootil, up in Fort Draco, he can do some good repairs.
Is there really a demand for blacksmithing?
Oh yes, the soldiers need fresh weapons as fast as I can provide them. The raids have been coming faster and faster.
Who's doing the raiding?
Mainly from bandits. Lately, with the big kiddies taking up the slack, There used to be lots of farms to the north. Used to be. Now we're the only fort in this area.
He pauses to think.
You know, we could always use some help. Talk to Captain Johnson in the guardhouse across the street.
Have another question. Grimmer nods.
Need a weapon? Still the best you can find in the Eastern Gallery.
The best weapons in the Eastern Gallery, you say?
Hey, you'll have to go on a long march to find better.
And if I wanted better, where would I head?
Down south to the Great Cave, and west. Darman is where the best steel is worked. I'm not ashamed to admit. All know it.
You see a tall, attractive woman with short, dark hair. She studies you carefully as you approach, clinically searching your bodies for any sort of damage. Welcome, warrior. I am Carol of the Hammer Clan, a healer by trade. My skills are much in demand in this fort. What service do you provide for Fort Duvno? I heal the soldiers of this rather struggling outpost as best as I can. It's a difficult but necessary job. Struggling? What do you mean? Between the bandits' raids and the Nephilim, there's no end to the wounds I must tend to. We're always looking for help against them. You could find out more from Captain Johnson. Where is Captain Johnson? He's in the central barracks. He's a harsh and cold man, but a skilled commander. He scares us all, but he keeps us alive. If you want to help us in our struggle, he's the man to talk to. What can you do for me? Alas, I have no potions to spare. However, if you pay for my time, I can share with you a few minor rituals for focusing a patient's natural energy to heal wounds. What rituals can you teach me? Carol of the Hammer Clan can teach a handful of weak rituals for healing and protecting the afflicted. You see a small worried man in long robes. They show the wear and lichen stains that come from heavy travel. A holy symbol hangs prominently from his neck. He invites you to sit with him. I am Caius, a speaker of holy chants. Come and join me. I don't mind some company as I take a rest from my journey. May I ask why you're traveling? I bring the word to the flock. I once did so in Formello, but now I am moving to safer ground. Why did you leave Formello? I was assistant priest there, but the raids got too much for me. I worked for Mother Claudette, a good fine woman. Plus she had the ear of the mayor. If you're ever there, mention my name to her. She'll help you get settled. As for me, I'm off. What can you tell us about Formello? It's a city to the north. They've had troubles, though not as bad as down here. The worst thing that's happened so far is that some Nephilim spies stole the mayor's necklace. He laughs. Sounds trivial, I know, but it's supposed to have powerful magic. Still, the attacks were starting to increase. I'm glad that I left. Where are you going? I'm going to the Great Cave, where things are calmer. He looks worried for a moment. Oh, so I hear. The Great Cave. What is that? You really don't know much about Avernum, do you? It's far to the south. And then west. It's the largest cavern in Avernum. It contains a number of cities and forts, and the castle, the capital of Avernum. You should try to see it if you ever get the chance. I have another question. Tell me about your holy symbol. He holds it up. You see that it is a tiny die, forged of silver. I am one of the speakers of Holy Chants, and yet I am no missionary. Can you tell me what you worship? Nothing and everything. Everything is vast, and only those who strive and risk all can prevail. He looks embarrassed. As I said, I am no missionary. You can learn more of our path in one of our temples. There is one in Formello. I would like to learn more holy rituals. Then travel north to Formello. If you would expand your magical knowledge, there is much to be learned there. You meet a farmer named Jake. He spends his leisure time here in the inn, playing chess against all comers and making friendly wagers on the outcome. A few minutes observation reveals that he is a fearsome opponent. Not wanting to lose any money, we quietly move on. This inn is clearly much frequented by merchants and warriors, the ones who pilot caravans north and south. The proprietor waits impatiently behind the counter. Stop knocking, she snaps. I'm Alice, and this is my inn. We have drinks and supplies. Sometimes we have rooms, that's all. Hear any gossip from travelers? She takes your coins, inspects them, nods, and pockets them. Then she says, Haven't heard a thing. Let me see the menu. Alice sells the same unpleasant ale available throughout Avernum. She also has pale, slimy fish from the lake. Slightly expensive. Don't need anything. You find the body of a human brigand. He apparently died of starvation, although the heavy flogging he received couldn't have helped him to stay alive. Life in Avernum is hard, and thieves and criminals who end up in Fort Duvno receive no mercy from the captain. Remembering what you saw on the job board in silver, you tell Captain Johnson of Jay's plight. He nods. I could use another blade. I have a scout going to Silver soon. I will send word to this young warrior. He tips you a handful of silver coins for your trouble. You see a large bearded man in gleaming steel armor. An iron halberd is strapped over his back. Clearly he must be the captain of this fort. He's a grim man with cold eyes and a huge variety of scars. Fortunately, he doesn't look unhappy to see you.
So you're here,
He says,
I got word promising warriors arrived in Fort Avernum. I won't pretend we don't need the help. I'm Captain Johnson. I'm in charge here until we get a new commander.
tell me more about the fort.
I've been in charge of it since our commander died. They should have replaced me by now, but the castle is in no hurry. We were meant as a staging post for merchants heading north to Formello and south to the Tower of Magic and the Great Cave. We weren't intended to be protectors of the whole Eastern Gallery. We just ended up that way.
What happened to the commander?
Fell to an arrow while attacking a band of brigands. Not a savvy fellow, was put in charge of this fort in more peaceful times, and he never adjusted to the harshness of life.
Why haven't you been replaced? He raised a mailed fist and slams it onto his desk.
Because I get results. Because we kill without mercy. Because I live to see Nephilim blood flow freely. And they won't promote me for much the same reason.
What can I get here?
Healing, some crude supplies. Warner can make potions. If you want to get proper equipment or learn magic though, you'll have to go north to Formello.
Have another question.
Captain Johnson says, we wish to talk more? Now is not the time for talk, but for action.
You note the large number of dings and notches in the blade of his halberd, and wonder how many of those were left by the skulls of brigands. How can I assist you, Captain?
I could use some help protecting this fort from the bandits and Nephilim. It's my job to not rest until all the vermin are dead.
But you have all the soldiers. What can I do?
Our soldiers are the best, but we can always use some adventurers too. The bandits are off balance now, and we can really use help against the Nephilim.
He practically spits out the last word. There's a weird gleam in his eye.
Tell me more about the Nephilim problem.
His face twists into a cold grin. It's a little disturbing.
Vicious vermin. I love to strangle everyone. They're building a new fort to the north, and I sent a small group to check it out. All my scouts were lost. We need to burn out their lair while it's small.
He grins.
Of course, we're getting them back. We got one of them in the cells, dying now.
Nephil prisoners, you're treating them fairly, I hope.
He frowns. You must be newcomers. Only people who just arrived would say something so foolish. When you've lost friends and loved ones to those savages, then you come back and tell me about fairness.
I'd like to help you with your Nephilim problem.
Alright then, the new Nephil fort is to the north. It's being dug out by goblins right now. If you can kill the commander, come back here and talk to me and I will reward you well.
What can you tell me about the bandits?
I'm not too worried about them. They live in the fort to the northwest. They destroyed several farms, but we're wearing them down.
I'd like the chance to fight against some bandits. Can I help you?
Definitely. The bandits have overrun a ruined fort to the west. They're led by a powerful mage. If that mage were gone, we'd have a much easier time dealing with them. Kill the magician, and you will be well rewarded.
A group of Avernum troops operating out of Fort Duvno approaches you. When they see that you aren't bandits, they warn you to be careful. There are bandits and crazed infilum in this area, the captain says. Then they depart. You find the ruins of what was some sort of farm or homestead. It is now a burnt out shell, clearly the victim of some sort of attack. You find the remains of a campfire. A group of people, probably human, camped here recently. Looking to the east, you can see that the cave wall is heavily cracked. Perhaps someone could, with care, slip through one of those cracks. It might merit closer investigation. There are a lot of supplies stored here, heaped around the cold and abandoned campsite. There's some water and goods for the barter, and some nice javelins as well. You could easily search through the sacks and take everything useful. You encounter a band of roving brigands. They seem to have decided that you are an easy target. The leader hails you.
Hold on a moment there. These are our caves. If you want to pass, you must give us 50 gold. If you do not, rest assured that we will act in an immediate and violent way.
You have defeated the bandits. You don't find any loot on them. You must have been their first intended victims of the day. Fort Duvno will be very grateful for your help. The already moist and sulphurous tunnels of Avernum grow even more humid in this direction. You think you are approaching some sort of thermal or other volcanically active location. As you walk east, you see many large bats flying near the ceiling of the eastern gallery, as if they are following you or hunting you. You are at the mouth of a high-ceilinged cavern, filled with the reek of guano and the loud squeaking of a multitude of bats. The goblin body at the entrance provides fair warning. The bats here aren't the warm, cute, cuddly bats you're used to. enter a large cavern, completely settled by the Avernites. Most free, flat space has been taken up by well-tended mushroom fields and rambling stone farmhouses. Guards patrol the area, keeping the nearby hordes of hostile humanoids at bay. In the center of the cavern, you can see a large city, bustling with activity. This is clearly a vibrant, productive area, far more so than you ever expected to see when you were sent to Avernum.